Sometimes when we think about ancient philosophy, some of us may picture dusty old scrolls and abstract ideas that seem far removed from our world. But what if I told you that one of the greatest thinkers of all time, Plato, still has a lot to teach us today? From leadership to self-awareness, Plato's wisdom always remains relevant. So today, let's dive into 3 powerful lessons we can all learn from Plato. Plato's famous allegory of the cave is not just a philosophical thought experiment, it's a wake-up call. Imagine people trapped in a dark cave, their only reality being the shadows cast on the walls by flickering flames. To these prisoners, the shadows are real because it's all they've ever known. But when one of them escapes and sees the outside world, the true world, then they realize that the shadows were illusions. So you may ask, what does this mean for us? Well, Plato's message is clear. Don't settle for superficial truths. In today's world, we're bombarded with so much information, whether it's through social media, news channels, or advertisements. But much of it can be distorted, incomplete, or even manipulative. Plato challenges us to step out of the cave of popular opinion and seek deeper truths for ourselves. So whether it's about you making decisions in business or trying to figure out your personal values, don't just accept things at face value. Challenge assumptions, ask questions, and be willing to dig deeper to find the reality behind the shadows. Plato's philosophy revolves around the pursuit of knowledge. But here's the catch. Plato didn't think that simply knowing things is sufficient. In his work, The Republic, Plato argues that the best leaders are what he calls philosopher kings, people who don't just know the truth but also use what they know to guide others. In other words, knowledge is only as valuable as the actions you take with it. So how would this apply to you? Well, in the modern world, we have access to more information than Plato could have ever imagined. But with that access comes the responsibility to apply what we know in meaningful ways. So whether you're learning a new skill, reading a book on leadership or any topic that interests you, or even listening to a podcast, the real power lies in how you apply that knowledge to your life. Are you using what you learn to improve your decision making, to innovate, or to solve problems? Plato reminds us that true wisdom isn't about accumulating facts, it's about transforming what we know into action. One of Plato's most enduring lessons is about balance. He believed that the human soul is divided into 3 parts: reason, spirit, and appetite. Reason is our logical mind, spirit is our drive and ambition, and appetite represents our desires and emotions. To live a fulfilling life, Plato argued, we need to balance all 3. Let's break this down. In today's world, we often focus on one part of ourselves at the expense of the others. Some people prioritize logic and reason, making decisions based purely on data and facts, ignoring their emotional needs or intuition. Others might chase desires, money, status, or pleasure without thinking about long-term consequences. Plato's advice: don't let one part dominate. Success, both in business and in life, comes from harmonizing these forces. Use reason to make wise choices, but don't ignore your emotional intelligence or your passions. A well-balanced life leads to better decision-making, deeper relationships, and overall greater happiness. In conclusion, Plato's teachings offer timeless wisdom that can help us navigate the complexities of modern life. First, as mentioned, never settle for shallow truths, always seek a deeper understanding. Second, don't just accumulate knowledge, use it to create real change. And finally, remember that true success comes from balancing your logical mind, your ambitions, and your desires. So, next time you're faced with a difficult decision or you feel overwhelmed by life's challenges, take a moment to think of Plato. His wisdom has lived on for so much time throughout history for a reason. It still has the power to transform our lives today.